See, that's interesting, that line of you might need that money. And I think that there is younger generations that, through no fault of their own, are being told to rely on. We hear the term, the bank of mum and dad, right? It's a phrase now that gets used. It was started with Malcolm Turnbull, and it has stuck. And it's something that is stuck now to the point where it's actually seen as a solution for many. And I just wonder what kind of impact that is having and what sort of decisions people are making. We also heard in the news during the week that elder abuse is on the rise, with cost of living being at the centre of that and some of the decisions that are being made by people at the expense of their parents. Avital Kamil is the manager and principal lawyer of Senior Rights Victoria. Avital, a warm welcome to the Conversation Hour. This is a really tricky and emotional and heated and nuanced and individual conversation. At the end of the day, it's about ensuring that our older people, of which we will all hopefully be one day, because, the other option is not to be here at all. How do we make sure that older people are protected throughout this?
Thanks for having me, Rochelle. Yeah, there are a few ways that older people can protect themselves. Obviously, the most effective way is going to be planning ahead. So that's going to be the best way to protect your rights and wishes for the future. And there are a few ways that you can do this. So formalising your wishes is one thing. So getting powers of attorney drafted, doing some advanced care planning, and really knowing what your rights are when you are getting that pressure, especially from adult children. So those are some things that can be done to mitigate.
What do you mean by pressure?
So when we're talking about this idea of the bank of mum and dad that you mentioned, adult children relying on their older parents or their ageing parents, that they're going to put aside finances or that they're going to make finances available to them when they need them, especially in this high pressure, rising cost of living, interest rates increases, etc., that are putting financial pressures on adult children. Just easing that reliance so that older people can protect their assets a little bit more. So that's the kind of pressure that I'm talking about, pressure that's coming from loved ones, really.
Do you have any tips on how to deal with this? Because I think it gets wrapped up in emotion, somehow inheritance or asks for gifts of money. It also gets wrapped up in how much you love me compared to my siblings. How do you manage that if you're the person that's really getting that pressure?
So really, the kind of things that you're talking about are really parts of coercive control, and we would classify that as an aspect of elder abuse. So what we see as Seniors Rights Victoria is things like coercive control go hand in hand with financial abuse, this guilt, for example, and also older people really feeling responsible for looking after their children. So they're torn between this wanting to protect their own rights and their own assets and also feeling this sense of responsibility to their adult children. So I think that the main thing for older people to know in these situations is that it is okay to say no, especially if someone is asking you to sign something, even if that person is an adult child or someone who you have a loving and trusted relationship with. You can tell them you need some time to think about it. Explain to them that you have some concerns about the impact that it's going to have on your own life. Tell them you want to
seek advice.
Right, that's right. Tell them you want to talk to a third party, a lawyer, a financial planner, something, and just acknowledge that it's not to do with not trusting them. It's just to do with making sure that you are looked after as well.
What about the idea, and lots of texts are coming in saying, I'm actually giving our inheritance to my children now rather than when I die because they need it now. Are you seeing a similar sort of pressure or coercive control in money being withdrawn or being requested from adult children now under the, the banner of, well, it's just my early inheritance?
Well, it's not usually framed as an early inheritance, but there is kind of this pervasive notion that, oh, I'm going to get it anyway. So, or what are you going to use it for? I can spend it better than you can spend it. This idea that, and really it's rooted in ageism, that once you reach a certain age, your life is just over. And so you don't need to pay for anything and you should just give up everything that you have earned in your lifetime to support your adult children who say that they can spend it better or that they will use it more wisely or that they'll use it in your best interest. So that's definitely something that we do come across. But again, that is rooted in ageism, and it is an element of elder abuse that we do see.
Avital Camel, thank you so much. Some really good points there. Manager and Principal Lawyer of Seniors Rights Victoria.